Good morning. All right, so I'm in a few things. We're on a new account. This is with a different broker, prop firm. So we're going to see about passing this a 50K account, and just trading 4 instruments today, trying to take it easy. Got in gold earlier, and basically, let me turn the trail off. So I'm going to turn the trail off the Power Trader Pro indicator. So basically, you'll see that we had these multiple times that gold has hit this price point up here. So I just drew a price line here, and it's around 3,300, 3,304. So right around that level. So marking these two previous highs, knowing that gold might just go up and wick. You know, we could have this wick marked here, knowing that it just might wick up there and not clear these two highs. And that's pretty much what we've done. It looked good. It looked like the last candle here, you know, as it wicked up above to my take profit 2, which is 2 times the risk level. It looked like it was, you know, might have a chance to break. But again, we have this previous high back here where it wicked up above that as well. So, you know, don't forget, you know, we mark our levels. You know, you can mark your highs where the candles turn, but you can also mark that wick. And that's what we're dealing with right now. So if it breaks through that level, finally, we'd expect it to go at least to here, you know, that inside or that low of this swing here, and then ultimately taking out these highs. I'm not going to mark a lot of highs. I'd mark this one right here at level 4 because we actually have a 4-hour support and resistance level up there. So it'd be great if it would climb up to that for us, but no idea if it's going to actually follow through. So we have our low to break, we have our high to break, and we're going to trade it in between as it bounces around. So we're up a little bit. We're up 116 on the trade. You'll see candles trying to get through that barrier. So we actually have this last candle closed above that line. My line was actually down a little bit lower than that. It was actually at this wick right here, or this candle body, sorry. So it was at that candle body. So we've closed above that, so hoping that holds true. However, we actually have this one right here that's in the way. So it has to clear both those levels before moving on. So right now it's doing well. And then on the Power Trader Pro indicator, of course, we had a couple buys. We had a sell signal here earlier at 7:21. I was not at the computer for that. Then we had 2 buy signals here, one at 8:12 and then the other at 8:24 after it pulled back some. So getting in on that buy signal, putting my stop below this wick low, and then so far it's worked out. We've hit profit target 2. So, you know, level 1 is, of course, 1-to-1. Level 2 is 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And then once we're in, I'll throw the trailing stop on. It's up to me to decide. It's up to each person to decide how tight you want that. If we look and notice that the trail, and we don't use the trail to trade, but we'll use the trail to manage our stop. So if you'll notice, it's out away from the indice, out away from the instrument, and you could trail your stop up that. And then it's down below this swing low right here, that plateau area, keeping down below. Notice if I adjust it to 1.5, and this is what I have to decide for myself. Do I want to keep it at a 1.5 and trail it a little tighter? If I do that, notice how on this pullback it wicked through that trail, which means that if I have my stop a little too tight to that trailing line, then I might get wicked out on any pullback it does. And that's always the case. So what I like to do is take my stop, turn off the magnet here. I like to trail between 2 levels, okay? Here, let's make a stop marker. So what I like to do is take my stop, and our stop was originally here. And then as it moves up, I like to keep it between 2 levels. So notice that Right now, where my stop is, when I got in, I kept it below this wick, but notice how it's between two plateau areas. Now, I didn't have the trail on. I just kept it below this low. So as I'm moving it up, as it's climbing, then I would take that stop and move it here. And basically between these two flat areas, it goes up, starts moving sideways, gives us that pullback. So we get it once it's pulled back, then we start getting the trail moving sideways. Then we have two flat areas, one here, and then we can move our stop, about to break even there if we want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. There's reasons for why we move our stop where we move it. So I'm going to leave that there, though. Let's put original stop here, and then we have our other stop. And then right now, I'm just going to move it to a little better and break even. So right now, I can't lose anything on the trade. And then it remains to be seen whether it climbs. So right now, we're doing well. I thought about closing one contract out when it hit here, but I'm in so small, I'm in so light that I just thought, no, I'm going to leave both in. So now we're getting a really, really good push. Notice how the trail's not flat right now. It is pushing up. We do have a turning point right here. Okay, so you'll see right here where it comes up at about a 45-degree angle and then turns up a little steeper. So that little knuckle right there, whatever you want to call it for lack of a better term, is where it would be flat. So if we get a pullback and move sideways, it's going to flatten right there. Okay, that's going to be our turn point. So, and notice how as it's turning down, it's staying right around there, and that is our knuckle. So we can move it up aggressive if we want, and move it up to that area. So I'm at least going to move it up here, under this low. So keep in mind, typically if I'm going one back, I'd be doing something like this if I'm staying with it. But I want to give it a little more room, so I think I'm going to go down here. So we're not locking in much. It's still playing around with that high. Okay, so it wicked up above, nothing new here. We're at 9 o'clock, and we still have about half hour before the stock market opens. And a few other things, nothing major. Negative on S&P right now. My stop's probably a little too tight on that. And then I got in oil as it pushed. I got in a little late. We actually had sell signal back here, sell signal back here. So I went ahead and took this trade here as it was moving. So I had this sell signal right here. And then when I jumped in, it was already pushing. So you'll see that I got in about half that candle. So that's a little disappointing, but that's just the way it happened. So again, the sell signal was on this candle right here. Okay, so it had this sell signal, went to jump in, and it was already pushing. So a little disappointed because you look at where my stop is now, and it's not a big trade. So I only have 3 contracts on. We're down about 12. It's about $120 trade. Nothing major. So we pulled back, gave another sell signal, pushed down. So really, it's just all going to depend on what it does at this point. All right. So I'm okay with the way it pulled back. If you look where it pulled back, what did it do on this pullback? We had it basically testing this low here. So that was our low to break, which it actually broke here on this candle. That's why I got in. Sell signal, broke the low, go ahead and get in. It pushed right away, and it just happened to pull back. Let me look at something real quick. I'm going to take my profit target tool and look at if I would have got in right when that candle closed and had my stop there. I want to see, did it hit target 1, and it did. Okay, so again, I'm pulling a new tool here just for reference. I'm going to clear it off. But basically, had I got in when I wanted to, okay, it jumped down, candle closed. I went and jumped in. It was just moving fast. So that's why it pushed down. I got in at a worse price. So had I got in on that right at that candle with my stop where it is, notice it did hit level 1. So I would have had a chance to close partial if I wanted to. So right now, this is what I'm stuck with. So we'll see. It's making another run at that low. I'm not going to add to the position till I'm in profit. So I'm looking to add to these. So a couple things. One, on oil, I need it to break this low, go down. It can come back and test it, and I'll add to that position. So again, a little different account strategy on this account. Was taking out a Nasdaq, so we'll look to get back at Nasdaq after stock market opens. So I want to manage these. Gold, nothing major. It's just failed to break that high, that wick right there. And if you look to the left, you know, we also see a low swing back here, right? So we see that swing low where it pulled down and back. Now, we don't trade these signals 24 hours a day. So you're going to get mixed signals and back and forth. And I've got this set on an aggressive setting. I've got the 5, 15, and 60 instead of the 15-minute, 60-minute, and 4-hour, which is typically what we'll go with. But since this, and that's typically what I'll go with on my standard account. But a prop account, you know, we need to be in and out of these during the day. So I'm going to put it on the 5, 15, and 60. And then only look for trades during the day, basically from, you know, 7 a.m. in the morning to about noon. So we're really having issues just breaking that, you know, and staying above that high. We had a candle close above it a little bit, but we're having issues staying above it. So we'll see what happens. If I'm going to move my stop, we can move it up a little bit here. Don't really want to move it between that. There's that little knuckle I was talking about because it kept pushing up. Now we finally got it to turn here. So that would be the next level to move it out. Let's see. We moved our stop here under that low. And then right now we have it here. So I like marking my stops on the way to see how well I did with the stop management. Could I have managed better? So this is a good way to do that. Just click on your make a stop marker is what I did on the trendline tool. So take your trend line and draw a line across and come in and make it red. And you can go into text and write the word stop. I've already got one made called stop marker. Write the word stop there, put it in the center, middle, center. That's what I like doing. And then save it as a template. So come in and hit save as. Mine's already there. Stop marker right here. And click that or type it in and make you a stop marker. So again, this is more for me later. It's also so you can see how I manage to stop, but it's more for me later after the trade, after the fact, to see, you know, did I trail a little too tight there? How many times, not just was I taken out, not just this right here, not just, okay, I put my stop there and I'm taken out, and then it just keeps going. So it's not that. It's not just to see, that's right here. So it's not just to see that, hey, I was taken out because I moved my stop there, only to have it go and keep going the rest of the day. That's not the only reason I want to mark the stop. The other reason I want to mark it is how many times was I close to being taken out, okay, moving my stop. So along with that, of course, is this trail marker. That's what that trail is for right there. It shows me, you know, because right now I have it adjusted on 1.5 and I'm trailing my stop on a 1.5 level. So I could see how many times has it come down. Right now, this red candle just came down toward that line, okay? So if I'm taken out, if I had my stop here and was taken out, well then I need to know that. I need to know if I could have managed it a little bit better. Because we already know it's having issues breaking that high. So we might get into a position where we can trade it short. So there's Nasdaq. Nasdaq just took us out only to go back where it was. I'm not interested in getting it. I took it when it was over here. You'll see my entry right here. So a little disappointed in that one, but that's Nasdaq because I was in at a decent price. You know, it pulled back, had a buy signal here, loved it because it played around with the zone in here, went to the top of the zone, kind of hung out at the top of that 4-hour zone, and then pushed. So I got in on this buy signal right here, and it had actually pushed up through and then pulled back. So a little disappointed. I didn't take this buy just now, which I probably should have, but we'll let it go. I'm in ES, so not quite equivalent to what I had on the Nasdaq, but I had a bigger stop on it. So we'll have to go look at what I lost there. Not in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still climbing. Can't trade it on this account, which is really disappointing. I'll go take a peek, but doesn't really matter. Can't trade it on here. But Bitcoin did a nice test and break over here. So I marked it this morning where Bitcoin, of course, was climbing off the Power Trader Pro indicator, had several buy signals. 2 of the buy signals came in here. It broke through this 4-hour support and resistance level. So broke through 4-hour support and resistance, hung out at top of the 4-hour resistance, basically came back and tested that a few times. So it tested it, retested it with candle closes. I'm looking at candles closing right around that 4-hour time frame. So tested it with those 2 and then gave another buy signal. That was where I was looking to get in, but I can't trade them on this account. And then, of course, we had a nice pop. So that's what I had posted this morning. Since that pop, it just kind of drifted up, drifted back. That's that nice arch in there. And then another buy signal here on this big push. So really nice move on it. And it's doing it without me because, again, I can't trade it on this account. So let's put this back on ES here. So far we're doing good across the board. Again, Bitcoin's doing that without us. I'm fine with that. I'll be okay. So let's turn the trail on oil. I want to turn it on. You go here to style, oil, and turn on trail. I'm looking, it's right under that low already. So I might keep it where it is. Notice if I come down back over to inputs, I'd come down here to the trailing stop multiplier. If I put it on 2, I notice that it's back and forth across there. We don't want that. So our signals, and we'll look at 2.5. So there's 2.5. 2.5 is kind of tight, but I think we'll leave it there. So let's go with 2.5 on the trail. Basically, we want to keep the trail, of course, above the candles, as well as they need to match our sell signals. So if we're getting sell signals, we need that to stay orange across here. Again, if we put it on, if I went to like 1, notice how it's back and forth. Well, it doesn't match my sell signals. We had a sell signal. We're staying in the red down here. We're staying with sell signals. So what I have to do is I have to match that. So let's go back. We're going to put that on, what I have it on, 2.5. We'll leave it at 2.5 with that. So where I'm going to go ahead and adjust my stop sum. Again, not looking at taking any profit on these. I'm looking to add to my position if they continue to go. You take a screenshot of this. So far, not too bad. We're going to put stops here on oil. I'm going to put a stop marker where the stop originally was. And then we'll put a stop marker where we just moved the stop to. So that's where our stop is right now. I'm going to go ahead and move the stop to the halfway marker on the halfway point on S&P. And we'll put a couple stop markers on it. Original stop here, and then we just moved here to the halfway point. So we've hit level 1 on both S&P and oil. So that's hit level 1 on both. We actually hit level 1 on Nasdaq, but was taken out of the trade. I'm going to leave my trade profit marker on there. Again, that is the Fibonacci tool is all that is, where what we use for a trade marker, because it has multiple take profit levels. So this is a little different than over here when you get into your position tool. Sorry, when you get into the long position and short position tool, where they only show one target. So you can mark it like a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, and that's all you have marked out on the chart. The difference is with what we've done is I've taken the Fibonacci tool and changed the levels. So we basically have 0, 0.5, and 1, and those are your entry and stop prices. 0 is your entry. 1 down here would be your stop. And then you start marking them -1, -2, -3 on down. Now you can't mark them straight down in a row. You have to mark them back and forth like this. -1, come over here, -2 and -3 on this line. -4, -5 on that line. The reason why that's how the tool's laid out, it reads left to right, and then bounces down. So left to right and then down. And if you set up here and you went like -1, -2 on down, it's going to mess it up. So just don't do that. But that gives us what? So we're got 21 levels of targets. They don't always get there. Sometimes they get there. Sometimes they don't. But if you look at the profit target tool, then again, we have 21 targets on down there. Okay. So we know where it's at. So we know if it's at that 2-to-1, 1-to-1. We know right now that on my oil trade, we're pushing past 1-to-1. Okay. So since it closed below, that level, we'll go ahead and move our stop a little bit. I don't want to move it to break even. I think that's too aggressive right now. So I am going to move it right in here and kind of give it some room. Yeah. Where am I at? Bouncing on the wrong chart here. So we'll go ahead and put another stop marker here where we've moved it. All right, that's about all we can do right now. We need to wait for S&P to break through level 1. We want closure above it. So it may come back down to test the previous high. Gold's still struggling. It finally broke up above back here. Okay, it finally broke up above this level, which I'd marked here originally. So it was marked off this high, and then I noticed that, we could go back and even mark that, or come back and even mark in here. So, but this is the high that I started with, marking this one and then this one. And we've kind of been bouncing around between the two. So nothing too exciting, but it finally has broke. It broke above and closed above that high, pulled back down, bounced, right around this one. And then it's went back up and closed again above that high. So I like where it's at. That doesn't mean it's going to follow through. I'm going to move my stop up a little bit. I don't think I want to move right here. If I move it right there, I just know that it could come down and test, this wick level. As you're looking, you see where this wick low is, this wick low is, this wick high. I just know it can come down and test that level, right, before moving on. So again, I don't want to get taken out right before it moves. So I don't want my stop up that high, but I will move it up here. I'm going to move it up between where that little knuckle was and then this flat area. And then we'll put a stop marker there since we moved it. So I'm okay if it pulls back and bounces. I'd rather not, but we'll see what happens. So far we're okay on it. We're at 144 and 2 contracts on, and we've not quite got half of that. I think we need to be up about here to get half. You can always measure that. I normally just don't measure it. So where we're at right here, we're looking at 83. Come down here, we're at 29. So we're not even at half yet. Let me do that again here. So again, prices up here, we're looking at 85, 86. So let's say 80, 85, 86. So we need to be at 43 to be half. 43 would be right here. So that would be our halfway point, would be right on this, right there. So right around here would be halfway. If I wanted to lock in half of what we have, I'd need to have my stop there, which is kind of aggressive because it's above the trail line. So just don't want to get it up there. The only other option we could do is close one out. So we're going to let these go. Here. I like where we're sitting on these, just need some pushes. I like that we're in on ES before U.S. stock market opens. We might get pulled back and wicked out. So I am going to move the stop a little bit. I'm going to move it up under. I'm going to leave it a little bit room in case it pops down. Again, we're not in Nasdaq at all. If it pulls back and dips, I might buy. Got to keep the coffee flowing. So gold so far has been really good. It's moved up toward level 3. We'd love to see it keep going. I don't know if we're going to get a trending day on these or not, but I like where it's at. We do have a 4-hour zone or 4-hour support and resistance level on up there. That's our main target on this trade. Let's look at moving our stop on oil. So we have a knuckle right here. So it just, as this is aggressive and pushing down, this is going to be aggressive with it, this trail, and follow it. So we don't really have flat areas. So we have to look at where the flat areas would be if it would have paused and went sideways. So I have a little bend right here on it. So little bend right there. Sorry, I got to click my mouse on there. So we have a little bend right there, okay, where we got in. And then we have a little bend right here. And then, of course, we have this new one. So if I move the stop here to break even, it's between this bend and this bend, where if it would have went sideways, if it would have pulled back or went sideways, then those would have been flat areas. So the next one's right here. You'll see that we have a bend right here. Okay, that as price moves, notice the trail going back and forth, and it's moving up and down. So that's our next bending point. If price pulls back, then that will flatten out. So if price pulls back, moves sideways, that's going to flatten out. it won't back up. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if price backs up and backs up toward the line, this will just go flat. It won't back up and move back up. So it will stay and it will go flat, and that's your reference point for your stop. So we're using those little bending points. So I am going to move, since we're moving on down to level 2. Let's see. I'll put it here. I don't think I want to go I'm going to put it between these two, between that little bending point, this little bending point, and I want to keep it above this low right here. I know I'm giving it a ton of room. I tell you what I'm going to do. I was looking at adding on these, but we're not getting pullbacks to add. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close out 2. So we're at 126. Again, this is a new account, so I've got to kind of be careful. I haven't traded with this prop firm before. I am going to close out 2. Okay, so I just closed 2. Let's make our stop match. Okay, so I went ahead and closed out 2, and then we'll leave our stop where it is. Add a stop marker there. And then if we get a pullback, I'll add to that position. Okay. If I want to get real, and I don't want to get real aggressive with the stop, I want to give it room to back up. Just checking something. With these accounts, you have to watch your trailing drawdown. All right, so S&P's pulled up. Nothing major. We're not even at $100 yet on that. I just did 3 contracts, and we only did 2 on gold. Gold's backing up, so we might get stopped out on gold. We'd have to look for another entry. So it's going right now to test these wicks. Hopefully it won't pop through and go down to our stop, but it might. Not really interested in taking $40 off the table on ES. So ES, we're only up, $60. Not looking to really close 2 of these and be up on that little amount. Let's turn a trail on here. Let's go with set it on 2, see where it's at. We'll see how it's all blue here. It turned orange back here, but this is before our day. So we really only want to look from that 7 a.m. on and keep that trail under there. That might be where we want it. It's on a 2. We'll put it on a like a 1.5 and see how that looks. See, that's too tight, and it turned orange here where we had a buy. So you can't do that. That's unacceptable. We have nothing but buys. We're going to hold long. Our indicator on the bottom, that 60-minute time frame, is nothing but green, even though the 5-minute and 15-minute changed here and there. Look at the 15. It's gotten stronger across the board, where we had more candles back here, or more 3-minute candles were red. Then it's gone down to 2. Then it went to 1 on the last flip. So I like that everything's green down there. We're going to hold green, so that means we can't see orange on our trail. So that means we need to change it. There's our pop. We're finally getting a move. So I need to put this back on 2, and then we're going to use that for our stop, which we're already pretty much there. We can go ahead and pull to break even on this. I'll just pull right there, a little bit above break even, and we'll move a stop marker there where we're at. So we're giving it that room. It's finally pushed past level 1. It's on its way to level 2. If you wanted to get real aggressive with this, you're going to use this previous low, okay, and this high. Well, let's do this. So I'm looking at this wick low right here. And then basically if we pull over here to the left, we can see this high from that, right? So if you wanted to get aggressive, and I'm going to do that, I'm going to pull it up that low right there. We're up over 100. I'd really rather lock in 100 per trade. So we're not at that point, but it has hit level 2. There's Nasdaq screaming without me, and I'm hating it. So Nasdaq has been the clear push right now. We are the start of the U.S. stock market. So here we have a nice push here, the first candle. And S&P's doing okay. It went to level 2, but Nasdaq just had that surge. Okay. So there goes S&P as well. And then, of course, in gold, we had that pullback to that level. So let's look at S&P and where we want to move our stop. So I'm going to get a little aggressive here, and I am going to push it up. I'm going to push it up to below where this candle closed, right here, the one before we just started this candle. So that candle closed there. I know we wicked down below. I'm going to get a little aggressive on this and move my stop. We're at 168 on this, 172. So I am going to come up here, and we're going to close 2 off.
Order filled.
And then we need to, that's kind of loud, we need to change this here to match our, let me shut that sound off. So we're screaming. We're going to have to get kind of aggressive. Let me check the others. Oil's still dancing around level 2, so we're okay. And gold's still dancing there. So we're not going to do anything with those, but I am getting kind of aggressive on the S&P. So I'm going to push up here. I know it could come back and wick me out. I'm getting aggressive with the aggressive move. So we're getting that aggressive push. We're going to keep. I wish I was in Nasdaq as well, but we are not. So I wasn't really, NASDAQ, again, we took that loss. I could have jumped back in, but did not. So a little disappointed in myself on that. Again, I got in on this buy signal. It went up, came down, wicked me out. So my stop was a little too close. You know, if I would have had my stop in midway on that 4-hour zone or even further, I'd have been okay. I'd still be in the trade, and we'd be up. But we did have another buy signal here. It's just it was below that level. Didn't take it. So I really missed this one. Messed that one up. So we have to, you know, we get what we get. We don't throw a fit type thing. We're sitting. I want gold to push back up to level 3. If gold gets up to toward level 3, I'm going to close one more of those. We'll check in on ES. So ES is pushing up to level 4. I said I was going to get aggressive. So I'm going to push my stop below the start of this candle. So we had this candle close, this one open. It wicked down a little bit right there. And that's where I want to move my stop. I told you I was going to get aggressive, and we're super aggressive. The trail's way back here. So I'm getting aggressive on that. because we've already closed out 2. I want to get as much of this move as I can. Okay. We're gonna still watch Nasdaq, but there's no way you can get in it now. And it guys, it could shoot up. Don't get me wrong, it's hit level 6. It could go to 8, 9, 10. But it is the stock market. We're in the first 5 minutes, and if you were to take that long right now, it could totally turn on you. So don't chase the train. If you missed it like I did, like I was in here and it went up, I was in the positive for a little bit, it just came down, wicked me out. I had my stop too tight on Nasdaq, or I'd be in this. Okay. And it even gave another buy signal. I just didn't take it there because that buy signal came. It was right there. I was a little skittish on it. Again, I'm on a new account, so this is something different. We're up 144 on gold. So gold, I'm going to go ahead and close 1 off. So we're going to sell 1. We'll change the stop order to match our what we got left. That's how we have to do it, unless we're trading through, and this company uses Trade-Evade as well. So unless we're trading through Trade-Evade, as we're doing it through TradingView, the orders are not linked together. So it's not like a to do a paper account where your stops and targets are linked. So that's where I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave my stop there, give it that room. I'm okay with what we've locked in. So we locked in a little bit on gold, and I guess I should have had these on. They should show up on here. Oh, I got in back here, guys. I got in on this buy signal. I thought I got in on this one. So where I got in was actually here. It's the same price, but it's... I got to turn the magnet off. I thought I got in on that buy signal. Sorry about that. I actually got in on this one. And I was almost taken out there too. So good trade. We're okay with where it is. We take a loss. No, I did take a loss on that and then got back in. So I need to go back and look at that. I don't remember taking that on gold. It looks like I went in with a buy here and then got wicked out here. I'll have to look. Let me go pull a report on gold. Well, that was quick. The reports don't always pull quick. No, that's not right. Yeah, I lost $24. So that little trade there, 2 on, I did get stopped out, lost 24, and then got back in, and we've locked in 70. So from where I got back in with 2, after this buy signal, went ahead and took it again, and then we just closed 1 out. So we locked in 70, and we're negative 24 on the other. So we're positive on the day on gold, even if we get stopped out here. So that may come down and wick us out. Not much. Nasdaq just climbing. There you are, level 6. It's about to our 4-hour zone. ES has climbed up to level 4, so we're going to head and move our stop up. I'm going to get kind of aggressive and go half this candle. Leave it a little bit of room. I don't want to go just under that open of that candle because I know full well it could come back, and it could still come back and wick us out. But I'm okay with that. We've got most of this profit. So S&P, we've locked in 70 on one contract, minus 24. So right around 45, and then we've got most of this 88 locked in. So that would be over 100 on S&P, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for 100 per. Gold I'm out of. Let me go back. So I'll have to pull a gold report. All right, had to take a quick break. Had someone come over to the house. So obviously we're out of gold. I'm going to turn my trail off. All right, we are still in oil, and we're still in ES right now. 110 or 112 on our runner, and we're out of Nasdaq. So we're still only in oil and ES right now. So Nasdaq completed its trip basically from a 4-hour zone that it popped through earlier. So it did this about 5 a.m. where it popped up through and into that 4-hour zone, went sideways, bounced back and forth between top and bottom, finally broke through the top again because it broke through over here. But then this time when it broke through the top, it stayed above it. And then again, I got in long there, just had my stop too tight. I should have used the lows back here, but didn't. So I got stopped out, and then I did not pull the trigger and get back in on this other buy. So I missed out on the move, but it did go clear to up near target 10. Just a straight upward move, nothing but solid green candles. We could have trailed that just like we did ES, and basically just got aggressive on our stop movement. And we may or may not have been taken out. It depends. If we would have stayed back a level, what I like to do on using these target levels is once a candle closes above level, like this candle closed above level 6, you move your stop to level 5. This candle hits level 7, you don't do a thing. You wait for a candle to close above level 7, you move to level 6. This candle closes above level 8, you'd move to level 7. This candle closes above level 9, you would have your stop at 8, so you'd still be in. That's if you're trailing back one stop. So overall, great move on it. It just moved without us today, which a little disappointing considering that would have meant a lot to this account that I'm trading, this new one. Let's see. So, but it did finish a 4-hour journey. And it's still pushing, so that's good for our ES trade. So Nasdaq is pushing against the top of that zone, so we'll see what happens here. It's good for the ES. If it continues, ES follows suit, that would be great. Not looking to get back in gold at all. As I say that, we were taken out. Notice it wicked all the way down. So notice on gold, trailing the stop up here, and then it wicked all the way down to where we got in. So where I got in over here, that entry price, it wicked all the way down there. So the only way to have stayed in the as a whole would have been to left our stop at the halfway point. Even if we'd have pulled our stop to break even, you'd have been stopped out if that's all you did. It's moving on. As I said, I wasn't going to take it again. I was looking at this pullback being at these highs and thought, you know what? I might take a chance on that. So basically, it could come all the way back to here where these candle bodies are. If it pulls back down, I'll go ahead and pull the trigger again. So I've got two options. Earlier, trading with 2 or 3 contracts, I can go with 2 or 3 contracts, or I can up my contract size because I've locked in profit on it. So I can use the profit that I locked in earlier on gold if I want to, and there we go. So we're down. I know that it could come back, so I'm going to go ahead and buy. Ugh, I got there too late. I hate when that happens, but I said if it pulls back down, I'd buy. It pulled back down. I went over to click the trigger, and it shot up before I got the trade on. So that's on me. There's no way, again, with this broker, this is not paper trading, so you can't like drag your stop down. You have to put a stop in the opposite direction in order. It would be a sell stop order. And then I'm going to keep it on down here. So I'm going to keep it down, and hopefully then if price pulls back down to this level, hopefully this level here where these candles are holds up as support, some kind of support, and keeps it up there. I know full well I have a white dotted line here, and we know where that's from. We know that that's from a previous high over here. So we have the next level would be up here. So it went all the way up and touched our target. Okay, so we got in down here. We were looking for it to go up to this high, see if it broke it. It took forever. It popped all the way back down to our entry, and then went back up and broke it again, and finally stayed above it. So now it's at this target, and it may pull back a lot before, and it may stop us out. If it pulls back a lot, it might stop us out only to go back to that next target. So the market moves in waves. You just got to be ready to ride them. And of course, as we say, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So there's our new trade on. So this would be a second trade in gold. Take this one out. We were stopped out. I got the magnet on. Let's take this back to where it was. Turn the magnet off. So we were taken out on this candle here on the pullback, hitting our stop. I'll go look and see what that looks like for our profit. And then now we have a new trade. So we got in here, and our stop is over here. Of course, this would be our high to break, the previous high. Once that's broken, we can consider moving our stop. So we'll take one more here on gold. We'll see what happens. S&P's pulled back a little bit, pulled back to our trail. Nothing exciting there. It could pull back and stop us out. We're at 98 on the runner. It looks like we'll lose back, what, maybe 10 of that. We're at 100 right now. Yeah, we might lose back about 10. So we might get out about 90 on the runner if it stops us out. And then, of course, still got a sell signal. We just had a sell signal print on oil. Might be late to the game, but overall, oil hit the 4-hour zone. So, or support and resistance level. So oil came down and turned right on the 4-hour level. Guys, it doesn't get better than this. We know that the 4-hour chart is a higher time frame chart. That's where the big players are. They're trading on a higher time frame chart unless you're using, like a bot or AI to trade. Typically, they're on a higher time frame chart, trading big money. So we know that. So we always mark our 4-hour support and resistance levels as well as our 4-hour zones, and we look for price to have issues getting through that level. Once they finally break that level, then we'd look for them to go beyond, like we did have here on Nasdaq, where it broke a level and went on. All right. S&P or Nasdaq finally hitting the top of that zone. I'm hoping it goes up through and keeps pushing because S&P should follow. That would be great for a trade. Not interested in moving the stop right now. I need it to break. I need S&P to break the previous high. So really want S&P to break this level up here. That's our hard high to break right now. If it even gets up there and breaks that high, and we get a candle close above that high, then I'll move my stop. But right now we're just going to leave it where it is. Give it a little extra room here, but right now we're setting up with bearish structure. So came up, made a high, came down, made a low, lower high, and we're getting a switch over. Trail's starting to switch. So more than likely, it's going to stop us out. I'm going to go ahead and close out, and then we'll just see if we get another entry. So we'll close that trade off. And it did link those two together. So we're going to close that off. We'll turn the trail off right now. But we're getting that change in character over here. So we could actually take it short, or we could wait for a pullback. Okay. So what we're looking at is this right here. It would be against our indicator on the bottom. We only have the lower time frame, the 5-minute chart that switched over. I'm going to mark this as a trade line down, or retracement line for now. Retracement line down. Right now that's just a retracement line. However, it could become the new trend. So we got to kind of watch what happens here. So we'd wait for candle closures. Okay, that looked like a nice big bearish candle, and then it got sucked back up there before it closed. So if you're looking to trade this short, we'd want to go in lightly because only the 5-minute time frame is red. Okay, so until the 15-minute turns red down here on the bottom, then we'd be taking an even bigger chance. So that being said, you know, the 60-minute time frame's green, 15-minute time frame's green. We still should be thinking bullish. However, if we get a pull back down even further, then the 15-minute might turn red as well, which then we'd have the 5 and 15 red. We can take that chance. We can take that chance that price is going to go deeper, basically. So the only thing left we're still in oil. I don't know if I'm going to add to my position in oil on this. So we got back in on gold. Gold did close above this high. Nothing impressive. So I am going to go ahead and move my stop to the halfway point. So let's minimize our risk. Lower our risk level. So again, original stop here. And then we just moved our stop here on that candle. We didn't quite get 1-to-1 yet. I'm going to be a little aggressive on this. So this is our new gold trade. The only way we would have still been in that first trade is if we would not have trailed our stop. We would have had to have left. If we would have pulled our stop even to break even on this first trade, we'd have been taken out by that wick, more than likely. Okay, so get that right, or straight. So this thing wicked down. If we'd have had our stop just better and break even, we'd have been wicked out. So I did good on that trade because I did move my stop as it went up the trail, and was able to get stopped out here, okay, instead of here on my runner. So I just have one runner on. So remember, we had two contracts here, took a $24 loss, 2 contracts on here, closed one up here, and then got stopped out on the other one here. So got back in a little bit late. It pushed up here green. Once it went through, then we've had that pullback, and finally we're in with 3 again. I was gone from the computer for a while, probably about 15 minutes. So I did just pause the video. That's why when I came back, you'd notice that there were some extra candles in there that changed. I forgot I had someone coming over today to do some work here at the house. We got that buy again on ES. Long wicks here. I'm going to go ahead and buy 3. It hasn't really broken the retracement line yet, so I'm taking a little bit of a risk. And then I'm going to put the stop down here around level 4. Basically, I'm putting the stop not at level 4 for that reason, but I'm keeping it under this wick low right here. Okay. So a pretty tight stop on this. And then we have to know that it may just go to that high. So if it only goes up to that high, we would want to have a pending order there, which would be a sell limit, but I'm not big on closing the whole thing out. See, that says sell limit 3. So I actually have to come in. I either have to do this and I just like doing that. Adjust that down 1, come back over, and then put a sell limit of 2. Okay, or I'd open up the trade panel and do it that way. I normally just do it this way. And then we'll let that go and see what happens. What did I do? I moved the stop up a little. Up 111 on gold. It still has not hit level 1 yet. It's almost to level 1. I'm going to go ahead and pop 2 in there and get ready to close. It's either that or, like I said, I can come in here and we have a previous high right there. So I really need to be thinking about closing out 2 before it hits that white line, because it may not get there. I probably should have just went ahead and pulled the trigger because it is at 120. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead. I'd like to wait for a candle to pop up, see if we get hit. But I just know sometimes we don't get to our targets, and that white dotted line is from a previous high. So come on and push. Want to see if it'll push up. Watch it not take us out and move back down. That's not what we want to see. We want to see it push and just go ahead and take out our 2 contracts. That should have triggered. It was right there. Close, not enough. We needed one more little bump. There we go. So we're out of the 2. We need to come in here and let me undock this stupid thing. Let me change our stop to match our order. So another good successful trade on this one. I'm going to go ahead and pop our stop up some. Not quite to break even. I want to give it a little bit room. If it moves up to the 4-hour zone, then we'll go ahead and pop our stop up. Let's see where we're at here. It's the second trade in gold. I don't know if that's it. Yeah, let's see. So we closed 1 out or 2 out of gold. And then, of course, it's nearing that 4-hour zone. Or support resistance level, sorry. All right, let's go back and check on oil. Wouldn't be responsible if we didn't. We've got our stop. I'm going to move the stop down. Do I want to move it down some? I don't think I do. I think I want to leave on oil, just leave that to chance, leave our stop where it is. We're sitting nothing but sideways. We need the low to break. Unfortunately, the low is right around that 4-hour level, so it's not going to be easy. New trade on S&P, not working out. Oh, not bad. So we're up 327 right now on this account. Now that includes, see if I traded the Kiwi last night and the yen. And I did have a negative trade on there. So, 75, 50, 150. So I lost about 200, 215 on last night trading a trade on the yen and the Kiwi I had. Was positive, closing partial, and then lost back. So that's including that on the day. So up 327. Up 556 and then lost the 229 last night is what the total was. Well, that's including today's loss. Back on the runner on, what was that? NQ. Where's gold? So gold, we locked in 70 and 28 on gold, and then 104 on the two that just closed. So 70, 28. So we're looking at almost 100 there, and then 104. So we got 200 on gold. So that's what I'm looking for, is 100, at least 100 per instrument for the day. And we've gotten that so far. So doing all right. Even with the Nasdaq failure to get back in. I think I'm going to move the stop on oil some. I'm looking at where it's at. Obviously, it's moving sideways. So we're in that consolidated area right now. And we're moving sideways. There's a 4-hour support and resistance level. There's no clear sign that it's going to break that. It's even having a problem running to it. So we've had this push down, this pull back, and basically it's been popping down to test the inside bottom. So that is the inside of a move. You have a swing down and back up, and you have your low, and you have the inside of that low. That's called an inside bottom. The inside top would be up here, swing up and down. You have your high, and you have the inside of that high. So that would be your inside top. So that's what you want. You want things to turn at those inside bottoms or tops, because then it's building a higher low. So I'd rather see this push through the 4-hour zone, but I don't think it's going to get there. So I am going to move my stop above the trail marker here, and we'll just keep it there for now. So locking in a little bit more, not much. We're up about 41, so that's not impressive. And what did we lock in on oil? So oil, we locked in 86, closing the 2. So nothing too impressive. We locked in 86, closing 2 of the contracts out. And I don't know where the... yeah, guys, I don't know what happens with this. I got the executions marked, and on some of the charts they just don't. I don't know why. You guys see it right here. I'm trying to. They're set to be on, And I'll go ahead and I click them off. I'll click apply to all charts. I'll click them back on and apply to all charts, and they don't show on some of them, and I don't know why. So you can see where we got in, and then we closed 2 out, and we locked in 86, and then what do we got? 39 here. So if we measure that out, if we go from, I don't want that. If we take the ruler and go from our entry price on down to where the current price is, we'll see it's at 40. If we pull back, so it's at 40 and we're up 40. So we're locking in 16 here. And then we had 86. So that would be over 100. So right now where our stop is, we're going to at least get $100 on the oil trade. And again, that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for just 100 per instrument per trade. And then gold, on the second trade on gold, we locked in 100. What did we do on the first trade? So first trade on gold, it was 70 and 28. So just under $2 under 100. And then this second trade so far, we have 104. And let's see. We can move our stop to break even on it. So we at least lock in that 100. So 100 on the first trade, $2 under. 100 on the second trade, so 200 on there. Again, we're looking at 100 per trade. Looks like we're going to lose back on ES. ES decided it was going to pull a little deeper. Again, I said that it could. That's why we had that retracement line. I just decided I was going to try and buy there off that buy signal, and I knew that was kind of aggressive because that retracement line's right there. So yeah, we're going to get a turn on both these. So Nasdaq also. Nasdaq has broke it. I'm going to have to close this out. We're going to close the S&P one out. And because Nasdaq is actually breaking, it's doing a couple things. So one, it's pulling down off the 4-hour, top of the 4-hour zone. Two, it's breaking the low. So now would be time to short Nasdaq. And we're not going in with 10. We're going to do 3. And I'm going against, I should have done that on ES as well, but ES hadn't really broken its previous low. So Nasdaq has, it's broken this low right here and closed below it. So I'm going to go ahead and short off that. Let's see, we'll take this and we missed the move. Just going to put that there because I want to put a so there's our entry price. We need to go with our stop up here. And then we come down and again, you can adjust this down 1. And then come in here and we'd put a buy limit of 2 at the 1-to-1 level. So we want to see it push to that and close out at least 2 at that buy limit. There's no guarantee it'll get there. It is right in the middle of a red zone. That's our upper zone, all-time highs. We're going to leave ES alone. It should follow suit from Nasdaq. But Nasdaq has the clearer signal that it actually broke its previous low, where ES has not quite broken it yet. So we have these wick lows in here. So we're going to stay out of Nasdaq for a while. Need to check in on Not that. Just checking in on the currencies right now. Yeah, there's the Aussie is in that red zone as well. Let me look at let's look at Russell and Dow. Yeah, see how Dow's 2 time frames red after that pullback. So it had a sharper pullback than both Nasdaq ES. So, and then Russell, same thing. So Russell just gave a sell. Not looking at taking all these like I typically would, but great moves on Russell and Dow today versus our ES. So glad I got out of the ES trade when I did, because it would have just stopped us out at worse. We'd have lost back a little bit more. I'm still waiting on Nasdaq to pop its buy limit. Would love to see it go all the way back down, as it, we had this steep climb up here. A lot of nice one-sided motion here. Nothing but green candles on the way up. Would love to see it drop all the way back down, and it would come down to like test this area in here. So we have this flat area right here, and we can come on back to the top of our yellow zone. So knowing that typically price will come back to respect those areas, then we're going to see if it does pop all the way back down to that area. So we want to be aware of that. We'll see. And we just know that if it does, if I'm over here watching the chart like this, if it hits that gray area, I'm going to know that it might have issues running through. So we're still waiting. We got about 26 minutes on this candle. Love that it's pushed down. It's pushed back out so far of the red zone, 4-hour zone. We still got 15 seconds. It could shoot back up and close above the zone. Would love to see it close below, and would love to see just continuation after this point. And not going to turn the trail on yet till it pushes down and pulls back and makes a bounce. So I can get aggressive with my stop. Let's move the stop a little bit. We're going to move to half stop level. So price is pushed. So since it's pushed, I'm going to move my stop some. So we're up around 592 right now. Or sorry, 492, 500. In the positive on this, I'm just watching the P&L climb over the whole account. So right now we have 160 left on the board we can close, but we're at 542. Like if I closed everything out right now, I'd be at 542, 545, in that range. So that's great on the day, even with my loss last night on this account. So there it popped 2 off. Why is my trades not showing? This is starting to aggravate me, to say the least, that my executions are not showing. I'll have to go out and pull it. Aggravation. Let's see, 179. So we got 179 on this. So that's good. That's over our $100. So, and basically that's just a 1-to-1 on that. So it was a good decision to short. We need to modify our stop to match. Don't forget to do that. And then at this point, we could pull to break even. And we did close 2 here. Remember, I only put 3 on. So far, we're doing good. Let's go ahead. I want to get a little aggressive with this, or do we? We're up 130. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to move this stop here. I'm still trailing one back. Price right now is here, and I want to lock in a little bit more on that. So it's either that or we leave the stop where it is. There's just multiple ways you can do this. I guess we could just leave it where it is and see where it is. We may get that pullback. I'd rather just see large candles just keep going, but look at the drop we just got on this. So overall, great trade on this one too. Need to get out and look at the other stuff we got going on. So far, so good. All right, what do we got going here? So look at ES again. Glad I took the buy, had to close it out a little bit early. It's dropped all the way, so did not take it long, and well, it's just dropping on down there, isn't it? So it's, what time is it? We got 10:35. We still got time. Gold, it's back up around that 4-hour zone. What do we got on gold? So gold, we're up 85 on the runner, and I'm going to pull it up some since we're popping above the 4-hour level. We want to lock in some of that, so we're up 94. I don't know if I want to get more aggressive than that. And we'll see what happens here. We'll just move our stop some on that. All right, so gold finally broke above. The 4-hour support resistance level. So let's go ahead and move the stop up a little bit more on that. So it's up 100 and our stop's over 50%, right? Or up around 50% of that. So it's going to be another $45 on gold. Still in NAS, and we're going to pull. I am going to go ahead and I think and move the stop. So price just pushed this last candle down to that gray zone of the consolidated area. Let's see. I didn't label this anything. I guess I could. Why does it say, oh, it already says buy zone there. So this is more our pre-market zone before that break. So where's our text? Yeah, we want it in the middle. Inside in the middle. There we go. So that's our pre-market zone. It's tapped that. So they've all pulled right back down to where they were. So good deal today. We're still in that. So I think I'm going to pull my stop. I just have to decide if I want to just pull it here around level 1. I think I'm going to leave it there. Guys, it may pull back up, stop me out, and I'll be okay with that. So 153 is where profit is right now, and we're about 50% of that. So another 75 on it, locked in. So good trade overall. Gold's pulled back down to test a 4-hour level, and we're still in oil. So let me do this. Since we're not in ES, and I'm not taking ES again, let's see what this looks like for you guys. That doesn't look the greatest, does it? I guess it does. We'll leave it, maybe leave it like this. So those are the three we're in. We're in oil, gold, and Nasdaq. What I like to do is I'll kind of fade these out. So we're not looking at getting into, ES. So only watching 4 instruments today instead of 6. This has worked out well. Typically I'll watch 6. But again, this is a different account, different broker. So this is the first day I've traded with this broker. So I'm kind of watching what I'm doing. And instead of trading 6 instruments, I just wanted to trade 4. So we're getting ready to get stopped down on oil here, it looks like. So once oil stops, I'm not looking to get back in. I'm pretty much done for the day. We're looking at where it's 1040 right now. So I'm in these. I'm managing my stops. I dropped down from, had 4 charts open, trading 4 instruments. So far, let me go into the account. So in the account, we're up $603. If we were to close out right now, we'd be at 603 on this account, this new one for the day. And that's closing out where we're at. So I'm hoping we get further pushes on it, but we may not. So I may not end up at 6, we're at 619 now. And again, that's if I close everything out, and that's 240. So that's almost half the day if I close out right now. Now, I've already adjusted my stops that, we're about to get stopped out on oil. So that's not going to be, that would be okay if it closes. Now, these on gold and Nasdaq, if they pull back and stop us out, we're going to lose a little bit back on that. Okay, so we're going to leave them where they're at and go. But my point is, we were watching 4 instruments, we're trading 4 instruments. Now we're down to 3. It's later in the afternoon or morning. There goes oil. So oil's off the table. We don't have oil. So what I'm going to do is change oil. I need to change it to the Nasdaq chart. Okay. Because I'm going to drop down to 2 charts. So there's your Nasdaq and gold. So this is what I like to do toward the end is I don't want to get tempted if I'm totally staying focused. And I want to zone in on what I'm doing. Again, I was looking at 4 instruments. We traded all 4 today because even though I took the first loss on Nasdaq, after it shot up, I wasn't going to jump on as it was moving, but then I traded this retracement. So good retracement trade on Nasdaq, and that's exactly what it was. It was a retracement trade. Our 60-minute time frame still green, still bullish, but the 5-minute turned red right here. Okay, so we're looking at the 5-minute turning red. Let's see, right here. So 5-minute turned red, And let me go ahead and mark where that is. So the 5-minute turned red right there. And then the 15-minute time frame turned red right here. And that's right around where we got in. I got in a little bit before that, before the 15-minute turn. So that's a retracement trade, right? It's been bullish. The 60-minute's still bullish. However, we had that huge move up today, so we've had a nice pullback on it. When the 5-minute turned red, it was just pulling down. We still had a low to break, okay, when the 5-minute turned red. When that low was broken, right here on this candle, that's where I took it short, okay? So I took it short 3 there, and then we closed out 2 as it dropped here, or we closed out 2 here at level 1. So I put a sell or a buy limit order to close 2. When it dropped to level 1, it closed 2. So I got 1-to-1 on the first 2 contracts. Right now, where my stop is, it's 1-to-1. Okay? So again, in with 3 contracts, put a buy limit. I might have said sell limit, sorry. So in with 3 contracts short, put a buy limit of 2 here at 1-to-1. So when it came down, it closed to a 1-to-1, and right now my stop is at 1-to-1 level. So I'm hoping it goes further. If it goes further, I'm going to trail my stop. I need it to close below level 2. If price closes below level 2, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop about halfway between these 2 levels. Okay, just to capture at least like 1.5. Here, down here, level 2 would be 2 times my risk level. So if I move it about in here, it would be 1.5. So I'd like to get more out of my runner. That's the whole purpose of leaving runners on, is to get more out of them. Doesn't always happen. Here on gold on this trade, we put on 3 contracts, closed out 2 at 1-to-1. And right now our stop on our runner is not even at 1-to-1. Yeah, if I move it here, it's 1-to-1. At that point, I could have just closed it all out. But the reason why we're leaving it is because if it keeps going, if it keeps trending, if it keeps moving up, then we're going to capture a little more profit. So there's no need for us to continue to watch all the instruments. So typically what I'm doing is 6 instruments on. I'm watching 6 instruments. I'm trading. And then we'll have people asking questions. So I leave the 6 on. This is how I like to trade. I'm getting in, we looked at 4 instruments again, where I'm looking at trading all 4. I traded all 4 today. And then as they close, once ES closed, we kept it on for a while to watch that correlation with Nasdaq, and then took it off. We were down to gold, oil, and Nasdaq. And once oil just fell off, we're down to just gold and Nasdaq. This will keep us out of potentially getting into another trade. Okay, this is just one way to help do that. Is just don't look at anything else. Don't peek at anything else. Don't look at anything else. Just stay focused on what you got, and it'll keep you from taking another trade. We're still around 619 on the day so far. So this is a good day on this new account. Not trying to over trade it, and not trying to go heavy on contracts. I notice I've just been doing 2 or 3 on these instruments. So we're building up our drawdown on this. This definitely makes it a little more boring. Sorry, it's not more exciting. But again, I don't want to look out at other instruments. We want to just stick with what we have and be done for the day. I did not start my second cup of coffee. All right, so Nasdaq's pushing. It's got some gas left in it, or trying. So we're getting that further push. We finally have the 1 hour that's coming in line. Don't forget we have to wait for a candle to close. So looks like we're getting a sell signal here. It's already moved down quite a bit. As far as I'm concerned, I would not be taking this as a sell signal to trade short. Now, that being said, it could still go short. The problem I have with it is we have a 4-hour zone right here, that yellow zone. Okay, so that was respected several times in the past. So we're also, we're right back down to this consolidated sideways area. So if I was to short off that, I'd be cautious. I'd more be waiting on a pullback to do it. So that being said, since this candle here did close below level 2, I said I was going to move my stop to about halfway. So I'm going to leave it right there. We got 205 on our runner, 200 here. And so we've locked in over 100. So let's just call it 100. Let me go back and see what did we lock out on this trade, this second trade here. Nasdaq 179. Oh, I got it right here, guys. Duh. All right. I don't know why, but I already have it right here. So, and we have a trail on there. I didn't adjust it. The trail was on the other, the chart, but we would have adjusted the trail to get tighter on this move here. What's it at? A 2.5. So we'd want to go down to 1.5 and see what the trail looks like. And yeah, really want to leave it at a 1.5 probably. There's a 1.5. It's kind of tight. So we'll leave it there. So right now it's really pushing. We're at 238. I'm going to go ahead and get a little more aggressive with this and move it down here toward level 2. I want to lock in that profit. I want to make the most out of our day. And then we also have to look at gold. So gold's just doing a little pullback there. So Nasdaq's doing great. Let's push into that 4-hour yellow zone. That's why we're kind of getting a little aggressive with our stop. Love that we have a buy signal on gold. So it pulled back below the 4-hour level though, but we did print a buy signal. So that's only because, again, how this works is we've been green. So it's been green all day on gold, and it's been moving up. It's been green all day. Great for us. You know, had a rocky start here as I got wicked out, had a re-entry on there and did well in the second trade, got in this third trade, got stopped out here when this candle pulled back on that first or second one. So far it's been a great day on gold. The 5-minute time frame turned red one candle, that last one, and then went back green right now. So right now it looks like we're getting another buy signal. That's why. So we still have to wait about 10 seconds for this candle to close. So it should close up here. This buy signal should hold. It's just that 4-hour level. Our high to break is going to be the wick right here, which is right at level 4. That right there is actually our high that we need to break now. If it even goes back up there. Stops. I'm going to move the stop a little bit. Sorry guys. I wasn't moving my stop here. I know we moved the, we don't want that. I know we moved our stop to, or I did, a little better than break even. And then I know I moved it up in here somewhere under this low. And then I wasn't marking my stop journey here. So the reason why I wanted to make sure to mark it is because I'm getting ready to move it up some. I'm going to move it up under this low right here and just keep it there. I'm going to get kind of pushy with it, aggressive, because we have this area right here that it broke, but we have the 4-hour level there. So, so far it's going great. We've got these two running. We've got 227 on Nasdaq, and just waiting on it to give us a push past the low. There goes gold trying to push past its high. So we'll see what happens on these. Hi. All right, had to let the dog out. So here we go. We're still moving on these. So gold is trying to stay up above that 4-hour support resistance level, which is great. We had a push. It pushed up to that previous high, but didn't break it. That's our high to break. I need that high to be broken, and then I'll consider moving my stop up below the 4-hour support resistance level. So far 100 on this runner, and that's good on a runner. I mean, guys, if you can get into a trade and have a runner go and that runner becomes $100, $200, $300, that is great. So this is a $100 runner. I'm looking for $100 per instrument just on closing partial. And then if I can get 100 on a runner or more, that's great. Over here on Nasdaq. So on Nasdaq, we've got 266 on the runner. Okay. So the only thing I can do with it though is move my stop and trail down. So we need to look at where we're going to move it. Again, on gold, I'm waiting till it closes above high, the high to break. And then on Nasdaq here, it is back down again to that yellow zone. So Nasdaq finally hit the yellow zone, and we need to look at moving our stop. So I'm going to move it. It's kind of aggressive. I'm kind of looking at the trail, but I'm really ignoring that and looking at this high right here. So we had several bearish candles, and then we had this pullback right here. So we had a pullback, and then it moved on. So the pullback came up and tested the top of that gray area, which is basically the highs over here. And then we've had a push on through back to this sideways consolidated area. So great move so far. It's hit level 3 off this, what is the second trade for us. Because remember, I got in over here and lost a little bit on that pullback. Got in here actually, and then got stopped out as my stop was too tight, and then it went on. So I really missed out on this first move up, this huge move, because of that, because I had my stop too tight. So that was my fault out of that. So I've kind of redeemed myself on this trade here, on this retracement trade. Basically, again, getting in when this candle here, okay, closed past this low. We always mark our low to breaks or high to breaks, and we're looking for those levels to be broken. Right now, and I didn't draw one, but right now we have this candle here that we're in currently. We just started it, so we got about 2.5 minutes left of this candle, but we're looking to see if it breaks below this low, like the candle body. I need the candle body to close below this low right here. Okay, that's our low to break, and then we had it push through. So we had this last candle push through that level, okay, and hit our target 3, but the candle body hasn't closed. So are we just going to get long wicks there? Is it not going to break that low? When we start getting long wicks like this, you start expecting a turn in the market. So it could pull back and just stop us out. I'm okay with that. We got 231 here, and it looks like I've got maybe 200, 180 to 200 somewhere. I'm just guessing, locked in. So that 180 or 200, that's good on a runner. That's great on a runner. So just moving stops at this point. Let's go. Let me see. I'm posting stuff out in the Discord as well, so if you're wondering what all the typing is. Let's see where we're at. I gotta log back in. So we're at 702 right now. So 700 on the day. guess it was a candle flipped. So notice how this candle on Nasdaq, the one that just formed, has pulled back up and basically tested that previous candle here, this bullish candle here. So we've had a pullback to test that. My stop is really close. So I know I may get popped out here, and I'm fine with that. That's still great on the day. I don't expect these to go through 4-hour levels. We haven't seen that. So today on Nasdaq, guys, it went from the yellow zone. Let me take this gray one off now. But it went from the yellow zone here over to the red and then back down to the yellow. So that's why we always make and are aware of the zones. So we'll see what happens. Again, candle pushed up, closed where the other one was, and we're getting that pushed down. So right now, we have sideways movement. That's what we have to be aware of, what's going on right now. Right now, we have sideways movement. We also have these three candles right here. This red one, the small red one, and the green one. All right. So we have the large red candle. We have the hammer right here. That's a hammer. If it's reverse of that, it would be a shooting star. So this is a hammer pattern. And then we have the green candle. So the hammer pattern alone, because the long wick typically means that things might change directions, could pull back. Oh, it did pull back. It's this green candle pull back. Doesn't mean it's going to go the distance. Doesn't mean it's going to, that hammer does not alone mean it's going to go clear up here to this zone. Okay. And then, but these three candles together form a morning star. Okay. But I am on a 3-minute time frame. So I just know that they don't hold up as well as if you'd see them on a, 15-minute, 1 hour or 4 hour chart. So far we're up 239 on the runner. That's a great runner, in my opinion. And we'll lose back some. So I think we're going to get about 200 on the runner. And then gold, we're still in. So not interested in moving the stop on gold until it breaks that high. If it doesn't break that previous high, then it's going to come stop us out. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to come back up. And we still got an hour, guys. It's 11 o'clock. So we're still looking for gold to break this high. Again, if it doesn't, because look what happened. We had a wick up here that created our high. We had candles, come up to that level and turn, and it's pulled back under the 4-hour zone. So if it stops me out, that's where I like moving my stops below the lows. In this case, as it's going up. If it comes and stops me out, has price not broken this low? It has. So again, if price comes down and stops me out, price has broken that low. Well, that means I'm getting a lower low. Okay? So over here, we're getting higher highs, higher lows, which is great. Okay? It's kind of lost steam. And then over here, we have that 4-hour coming into play. I don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to bounce here? And we're going to keep moving on. Oh, sorry, guys. Or is it just going to break that low? But again, if it comes and breaks that low, just go ahead and take me out. Because you might be changing directions. Okay? Because again, if price pulls down to take me out, then that means price has broken this low, which means price has given me a lower low, which means change in character, change in structure. We're changing from a bullish structure to bearish structure, just like we did over here on Nasdaq. Nasdaq, we were climbing up, made a high, made a higher low, made a higher high, higher low, lower high, and then broke that low. We have a change in structure, change in character, shorted, and then we got all this. It's something to be very aware of. There we go. So we're taking out. So now we can actually look to consider shorting. And again, if we do something like this, we have to know that we're only, right now, just the 5-minute time frame has turned. So again, but we're seeing that change in character, that change in structure. We're also below a 4-hour support resistance level. So if I was going to take this, I could go ahead and go in knowing that right now it's breaking past that low. I would want to wait for a candle to close. We still have like 2 minutes left. I'd want to wait and see this candle close. So it's taking us out. So since it's taken us out, again, I move my stop under that level, saying to myself, if it comes and stops me out, then that means that prices move past this low and we're getting that change in possible change in structure. So and that's when I want to get in. I want to get in short if it changes to a bearish structure. What I have to wait on now, that break alone wasn't enough. I need to see a candle close past this low. If that's all it does is wicks down, it could still go up. We have to see where this candle closes. And right now, it just looks like it wicked me out, and then it might still go long. So we have to really see what builds up on this side. Okay? What I would really love to see and be okay with is I would love to see a candle close below this low over here, and then see it pull back to the 4-hour and then do something like that. And then go, because we had a large move up over here on gold, and would love to see that go down and start taking out those levels. I'm not sure if we're going to get that or not. So I'll consider taking it short. What are we at? We're at 11:11 on the day. So we still got about, a little over 45 minutes here. I like to quit by noon looking for entries. So this would be the only thing I'd want to do is leave it like this and only watch the two if I'm thinking about possibly getting in gold. I'm not going to go back out and pull up Nasdaq. I'm not going to go back out and pull up oil. I'm just going to leave the two right here. So see how that candle closed above this low. It didn't break it. The price broke it, but the candle still closed above it. So it just wicked down and took me out so far. There's our pullback. So we technically had a little pullback here where price came up. It wasn't really all that impressive. I'd rather see it like pull all the way up to that 4-hour, and then I can get in short. So I'm probably going to be late to the game, as it looks like right now it's pulling back to that low, because this would be our new low to break. Still want to see a candle close below this one over here before I get in. So we've got, a full 2 minutes to wait it out. Over here on Nasdaq, let's not ignore it, but it's tightening up. So it's getting really tight as buyers and sellers here. It's coming into lunchtime. So a couple things are happening. We're coming into lunchtime here at the New York session. London session's getting ready to close for the day as they're looking to go home. I like to have both time frames on my watch. So I actually do have on my watch, I don't think you can see it, but anyways, can you see it? Yeah, 2 time frames. So I've got New York session and London. So right now it's 4:13 over in London. And so again, they're getting ready to quit for the day over there. And we're talking not really retail traders. Retail traders, they're going to trade at any time. They should be getting ready to quit for the day. But more the hedge funds, the big banks, the corporations, the governments, and their trading. So they're getting ready to quit for the day over in London. Here in New York, getting ready for lunch. And so we're going to see that volume die down. So the volume we have from 8 o'clock to noon during the New York session, that is dying down. So we really don't want to trade in the afternoon. There's no reason to. We've already captured good return for the day. But I could take this one here, depending on where it closes. What I don't want to see is a huge candle right here. Just keep pushing. I'm going to have to pass. I'd rather just see a candle close below that, this low right here. So if it closes past that, which it looks like it might, we got 9 seconds, then I'll go ahead and short now. Again, because we had 9 seconds, here's 2 seconds. I know that candle's going to close. So I kind of took a little early. My stop I'm going to put up here above the 4 hour, and then we'll see what happens. And again, on Nasdaq, we're getting into that tighter where it just keeps pushing down, yet we have a support level in there. So let's go ahead and mark up this gold trade. I don't know if I want my stop where it is. I might move my stop. I just placed a catastrophic stop there to see how close I want it. I think I'm going to pull it down here a little bit closer to that 4 hour. And we'll do something like this. And then, so this may have been a bad decision. Don't know. I'm going to actually put my take profit 1 here. And I'm going to look at a couple things here. One, I want to look at where this yellow line's for. Oh, yeah. So see how or the white line. See how I got the white dotted line from this high over here. So it may come down and test that because it did here. So as we're looking at it testing the levels, I marked this high here, came down, pulled back, broke that high. But then right here on this candle, it wicked down to that point. Okay, so I need to be aware of that. That may hold up as support for it. So what I need to do is be willing to close partial ahead of the game and be willing to close 2 before it gets there. Because that may be all it does. It may only drop there. So this may be a losing trade. I'm okay with that. Basically, I'm taking part of my gains from this morning. And I'm sorry, I'm reading something. Yeah. So taking some of my gains and risking those right now on this extra trade. So we'll see what we get. There goes Nasdaq. So Nasdaq pushing on into yellow zone. Love it. Didn't think it was going to actually follow through with pushing that down in there. All right. So again, didn't think Nasdaq was going to push it. It pulled, it bounced, and here it got kind of tight, right? As it got tighter, and then just kept pushing, and finally broke through a little bit. If I want to get aggressive, which I am, maybe not. I'm debating. So I'm debating whether to move my stop, and sorry, I don't have stop markers on this at all. I know where my stop is now. Stops here now, and I couldn't even tell you guys where the other one was. I don't want that. I want to copy this. So we know the stop was there. I know I moved it to partial. We know we moved it to break even, and we moved it on down. I don't know where the stops were moved on this one, so we'll take that off. Sorry, I didn't move my stops on the way down. So if I wanted to be a real aggressive, I would pull my stop right here above this little high area here. And I'm just not sure if I want to do that or leave it where it is and give it room. I'm just going to have to think about that, if I want to pull it aggressive or not. Which that means I'm giving quite a bit back. Remember, I think where we're at here, we're locking in 200 on the runner, which is a great runner. There's that pullback we wanted on gold. So hopefully we'll get a push down on that. So this candle closed. I decided to go ahead and take it before it closed. So I got in at a worse price. Didn't wait for it to pull back. It did pull back and test that low. That would have been a better price to short because my stop would be tighter. Okay. Because my stop is, again, if I would have waited on it to pull back, and just got in on price pulling back, hitting that low, then I would have been in a better price. So hopefully we'll get that bounce there, get that push down. Would love to see it go on. And as it looks like, gold's setting up here for that reverse. We'll see if we get some follow through on this. Be nice to add this trade to the bundle today. See, we would have been wicked out. So if I would have moved my stop above that high on Nasdaq right here, I'd have been taken out already, which may or may not have been a good move. Okay, if that's all it does is come up here and hit that, or even hit that and then go back down, then leaving my stop where it is would have been the best decision, and is. But if it pulls all the way back up and stops me out, again, you get what you get. You don't throw a fit. So no fit throwing. So we took another gold trade. We'll see what happens. May have my stop too close on gold because we're looking for it to pull back and make a lower high. It made a lower low. It's pulling back. We're looking for it to make a lower high. We have the 4-hour time frame in there. Or 4-hour support and resistance level. I would hope that would hold up. And then, of course, on Nasdaq, we're about ready to be taken out. So 200 says 203 over here, 204 on Nasdaq. So we are, if we get stopped out, we're going to get around 200 on the runner here. And that's not bad. 200 on one runner, one contract. Again, we closed out 2 here at 179, so almost 180. So closing out 2 here at 180 gives us 90 per contract. We just got 200 per contract on the runner. Okay, which is over double. So great trade on this one. Great management as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I could have squeaked a little more out if I would have pulled my stop down here, but I wanted to give it a little bit of room. And guys, it could still pull up a little bit more and come back down, make another run at that. But I'm done with it for the day. And again, we're getting closer to noon, so we're almost at 11:30 here. So with that, we're back to 639 right now. Really not looking to lose on this, but we might. Don't want to get it on Nasdaq around noon. I mean, it may be changing its structure. So it definitely broke these highs over here. Clean up some of this. So again, we have the highs back here. And it's broken that. So it's made a higher high, basically higher than these. And then we look for it to make a higher low. You get in on that bounce. It can always just take off and run. But that's what you'd be looking for. You'd be looking for it to pull back and make a higher low. Not interested in getting in on that. So great trade on it. Great day on Nasdaq. Great day on all the indices, actually. I think we'll stay in this gold trade, see where it runs. Always hoping it pops and goes pretty quickly, and it's not. It's lingering there. So we're down 20. Looks like we'll lose back 100 on this. So we're at 630, and it looks like we'll lose 100 on gold if it goes and stops us out. So that's still over 500 on the day. It's going to go test that 4-hour support resistance level. So it may wick us out. I knew my stop was a little tight. Okay with that. Debating whether I just want to close it and be done and be at 600 on the day. Well, at this point, we might as well let it play out. Because it's almost to my stop, and I'm only at 590. So I think we're going to end up about 570, 575 somewhere on the day, if it stops it out. So not quite 100 on this loss back. Nasdaq's pushing further up. So again, we're looking at that structure change in Nasdaq. Call it change in structure, change in character, higher highs, higher lows, reverse swings. I mean, there's multiple names for it. More popular is that change in structure, change in character. Character, the structure was bearish over here, and then we're starting to see a higher low. So, or we're actually seeing a higher high than over here. So we've already got that structure building up for a reverse. Again, nothing I'm going to get in on because it's about 11:30 Eastern here. So again, it's about time for lunch. It's almost like we're just waiting on this to take us out. It's at that 4-hour level on gold. I have to decide if I want to ride out gold as it looks like it might drop back down to my entry price. Do I want to go ahead and get out of it and get out of it at a better price than I was just in the negative? I'd have to know that it could go without me. It could be a bad decision to bail. But it's all dependent on what I've got going on, what I want to do. I am heading out here soon, so I really won't be able to watch this. Got a meeting. So it's like, okay, I'm less negative now. Do I want to bail on the trade less negative? Or do I want to move my stop aggressive and just say, just either take me out or go hit my target just quickly? So it really just depends on you, what you want to do. Right now it's come back down to test, this level where it popped down and pulled back. So is that as far as it's going to go? Do I want to cut and run now? Do I want to do this and move my stop kind of aggressive, knowing that, yes, I could be popped out if it pulls back up, but I'm fine with that. Again, right now it's just, do I want to preserve any of the capital I have at risk here? It's not bad. It's only, what did I say? We're going to lose maybe 100. However, it is in a prop account. So I have to consider that as well. So we're I'll post the charts out in the Discord at the end. Right now we're up on gold 242. So we have 266 on gold in the positive with a $24 loss after that. So 242 on gold. So good day on gold. Again, we're looking for 100. And then let's do Nasdaq. I'm pulling the report. It's taking forever. Of course, the other one pulled quickly. So Nasdaq, we're getting that pull back down. It's going back down, hopefully, to test those highs. It may go on up. So Nasdaq, we got 377 total profit on Nasdaq with a $31 loss. And that would have been, on the runner, because we lost. No. Where did we take the loss at? Oh, I took that earlier. MNQ 1. I don't know. I have one contract at a $31 loss on Nasdaq. And then 2 contracts here closed at 179. And then the other contract, the runner, closed at 198 on this runner. So again, I closed out 2 contracts here and got 179. Okay, which is about $90 a contract. On the runner, I got 198, which is twice that. Okay, so again, on Nasdaq, 346 on the day, and we're done with it. And then I'll have to pull the others too. Let's see. ES 140 on the day. Actually, we had 203 on ES on the day, losing back 64, pretty much 63.75. So 140 on the day, but that was because no, that was on. Yeah, that was on a loss on ES on the second trade. So lost back on that, but great trade overall, 140, and then oil. Oil 102 on the day. So I'll take every bit of what we got. Like I said, I'll post these 4 out in the Discord before I leave. Was hoping we get a push here on so we're done with oil. All right, so 346 on Nasdaq. $140 on, what was that, oil? Yes. Oil was 102. So still got a squeaked 100 out of oil, which again was the goal. So don't like what we're seeing here on gold. Should have cut loose when it pulled back down, but did not. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these others up. All right. So we did what we set out to do. We'll wait this out a little bit. Like I said, I'm pulling the reports here. And then I'm going to get them posted on the charts and get them posted out to Discord. So we got ES. We're done with that. All right, so we'll get these posted here in a minute. And then we've got Nasdaq. So Nasdaq was the big winner, and all I did was trade that retracement. We did take a loss on Nasdaq on the first trade, so kind of bummed about that because, again, it wicked me out only to make a huge move. Huge. So really missed out on that one, and then missed the second. There was actually another buy signal, and really just kind of ignored that and did not get in. So a little disappointed myself on that one, and that's okay. Not going to kick myself over it. I just want to realize that I didn't do the best on it because of that. Again, because of that move up. So again, on Nasdaq, that's the one I'm talking about here, where I got in long over here and it wicked down and stopped me out. My stop was too tight and it just barely wicked down, took me out, and then just really huge move up to that 4-hour zone and through the 4-hour zone to the top of it. So missed out on that because, again, it wicked down, took me out, and I really just kind of ignored this buy and wasn't interested in getting in, was in on ES. So just stayed in on ES and missed this. So really missed the huge move, took a little loss here. It was a $24 loss. So nothing major. I only bought with one. I only went in with one contract. So really small. If I would have went in with 3 contracts, which is what I was doing on most of them, I would have lost $75 on it. So really not that big of a loss compared to what is locked in. It looks like we're in the positive a little bit on gold. So let's switch over. I'm not going to watch Nasdaq anymore. We'll put gold on. I am going to mark the other charts up, so I'll mark them up here in a minute. Really just looking for gold. I want it to go down and would love to see it hit my target. It's just not there yet. And I'm trading against. We had a buy signal, but the smaller time frames, the 5 and 15, are both red in there, back and forth, red, green. So we're seeing that more than just the power trade indicator going red, green. Again, we're looking at structure, and we saw over here that this candle broke that low. So we know, okay, we're making a lower low. When price pushes past that low, then you know it's made a lower low. It's on the way to finishing what it started. It pushed down. Price pushes down. Price broke the low. Okay, it happened to pull back up, turn right at that 4-hour level, and almost stopped us out. But we're still in. So up a little bit. I'd really like to see it go to that limit order. And just not sure if it has enough juice to get there. I don't know if I marked that or yes, I did. So I don't know. We'll wait it out a little bit. About 20 minutes left. I'll stop the recording. Hopefully it'll pop before we get there. Before time runs out on us. I will do something real quick. We are going to run through the indices. So we know what Nasdaq has done, okay? And we know what ES did, and it finally has moved, same thing, Nasdaq all the way back down. We're going to look at Russell and Dow. So here's Dow, same thing, moved up, moved back, and then there's Russell. So same moves overall. Looks like we're getting a change in character here on Russell, because Russell has broken the high and formed a higher low. So it's changing over to bullish structure here. Dow, same highs and higher low. So it's trying to change over. ES, same thing. ES come over, it broke the high, higher low. So across the board, that's what we're seeing. And then when we get to Nasdaq, same thing. Broke the high, and then we're getting a higher low. So we're getting that change in structure across the board on all the indices. So again, not really looking to trade them. Just want to notice that that's what it's doing, and then see if that has any follow through the rest of the day. I'm not going to watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be gone. Someone else can watch it. Got other things to do. So we'll sit here for about, our 4-hour trading window. Trade and be done. Do something else for the day. We're at 6:57 right now on the day. So if I close out right now, we're getting 6:57 on the day. Really want it to go down and hit my limit order at least, and move the stop to break even. What it's done, of course, it pushed down past the low over here. It's pulled back up to test that support area here as resistance. We'll see if it holds up. I don't expect a quick move down, but it would be nice if we got it. So I could close out that that sell or the buy limit order, so it can close those out before noon. Would be nice. Just pull them back. As long as it doesn't pull back, I don't want it to pull back up and make an equal high. I'd rather it pull back and then turn and make a lower high, but it might go back up to test that 4-hour support resistance level. Of course, it remains to be seen. That little indicator does nothing. Alright guys, I'm moving stuff around. I just kind of wanted to see make sure, because on my other monitor it doesn't look like you can see the profit target tool very well, but I moved it over here and it looks fine. So we're getting a buy in there. Don't like it. It's not good for my short. Hopefully this is just a one candle green, but the 5 minute is back green again, which we had on the other side right here on this pullback. So not hopeful that my that the short's going to play out. We'll see. About 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and do these real quick. So we're going to go Nasdaq. We're going to take these off. Oh, I didn't want to take that off. I wanted to take that off. We're going to load up the images here. So we have NQ. So I always post the two images here, or have been. And one's the trades. Try and post it out of the way over here. I try and post them out of the way. The other's just this. We got to turn the magnet off here. And these will be out on the Discord. So I try and make them as big as I can. You'll see that we had 348, ended up with 348 on the day on Nasdaq. And then there's our how our trades ended up. So let me go in here. I've got to, whoa. There we go. All right, so we'll download that image. We're still in gold, so we got ES. So that was Nasdaq. ES we're going to post. And I'll get these posted again. So ES is over here. We got ES1. And then we have... Did I not do both oil? Yeah, I've got oil. Okay, there's the other ES. So we have the same thing where we got the actual trades. And we'll kind of move the chart here. And then this is our total. I'll kind of keep it down. So I'll move it up a little bit. But so far we had, let's see, I'll change these around a little bit. That way this one's a little bigger here. Oh, I know what I could do. I could do that. So 140 on ES. And then we'll go down to oil. Because we're still in gold. There's oil. Glad we're out of oil. It turned all the way around. So let's go pop these in oil. Don't forget that as a 4-hour level there on oil. 4-hour zone. See, we're going to move this on over like that so we can blow these up. They're just 102 on oil. So still we broke that $100 level. So I'll get those posted out on Discord once once gold finishes off here. Yep, it's wanting to go wick us out. So once again, it's coming up to test that level. And why is my trade window gone? Oh, here, I gotta close my sidebar. So we're out. So we're out of gold. So let's go, let me go pull a report on gold so you can see it or hear it while we're here. So we're out of everything, done for the day. And we'll see where we're out on gold. Let me pull this. So gold 161. So not bad. Even with that negative. So, you know, had I not taken that trade, and we'll look at the, I'll post them here in a minute. So we have gold. Because obviously I lost back on that. And we'll look at what I lost on that. Leaving that on. Or even putting it on late in the day. All you can say is, my bad. Alright, so let's see where we're at on gold. And I'll post it out here too. So we'll get those added. I'm going to kind of move the chart over here. And so not bad on the day. Where's my total? Let me go in and see where we're at on total. 572 on the day. And of course I lost back on this gold trade. All right. Well, where's my graph and all? Let me pull that again. Sorry, guys. I just like to have the graph on there too. I don't know. Just gives you visual representation. All right, so here we go. Finishing up the day, and there's gold. Let me move that to the bottom. So we did not get it to move. So 161 on the day, and notice that my losing trades were 105, but notice I had a negative here, the 81. So it shows here on the bar graph. That was the trade we just took, or I just took. I keep saying we, but it's me. So that was the trade that I just took. I'm trying to move these around so they'll show well on the Discord when I post them. So that's that last trade. So had I not taken that trade, and again, it did. The red candle here broke the previous low. So that's when I jumped in. It just didn't pan out. It went back to test that 4-hour level, went back again to test the 4-hour level. That doesn't mean it's going to go long and stay long. Doesn't mean it might bounce short still. It is a 4-hour support resistance level. So, but I lost back $81 on that. So still good on the day on this one account. And just if I wouldn't have traded that, I'd be up another 80. So what did I say? I was up 5 something, about 572 on the day. So hope you enjoyed the video. We'll be back to trade this account again tomorrow.